Right now at 5, a former head of Quapaw Nation passes away after a brief illness.
And we've got rain beginning to build into the area. Heavy rain possible later today and winds increasing. Got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, seasonal funding gaps could have an impact on the Joplin Head Start program. One nonprofit looks to lend a hand.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday, October the 28th. And of course, we've got our rain. We've got some wind set to work in today. It's going to keep us definitely on the chilly side out there as well. We were just discussing, I was getting some information on Hurricane Melissa, which is about to make landfall in Jamaica. Category 5 storm. Winds are 175 miles an hour. And I was reading this thing from another meteorologist down in Tampa Bay where there's a certain point in which meteorologists believe it's the strongest storm the Earth could sustain would be one with 184 mile an hour winds. So we're talking this is a dangerous, if not deadly storm getting ready to make landfall in Jamaica. We'll have more on that here in just a moment, but we do need to get our weather started. Thankfully, nothing quite like that here, but it is going to be a bit of a chilly rain out there. We're going to start with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and you can see things look okay for now. We're dry really across most of the area right now, but in the next couple of hours we'll start to see that change. Our camera 7th and range line looks all right. You can see some clouds back behind me here, and we'll head over to the MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Again, looks good so far. We are dry. Skywatch storm tracker, just a few isolated sprinkles, if even that, right now into parts of Greenwood, Elk, and Chautauqua counties, but off to our west we've got more of these showers continuing to build in across Kansas, and as this continues to increase, we'll eventually of course see an uptick in the rain, and by mid-morning we should have plentiful rainfall across the area. Now down to our south, there have been some thunderstorms. They've been a bit on the strong side. They are tracking easterly, and they've kind of developed, I think, as far as they're going to. So this thunderstorm activity should remain south of us, but we could get a rumble of thunder or two in there today. Nothing strong, nothing severe, nothing too crazy expected. Our biggest concern, again, is just going to be some heavy rain. It's going to last throughout the majority of, if not all day today. And of course, we're going to have those gusty winds across the area as well. Our temperatures this morning, again, quite mild out there, mid-upper 50s. Veneta right now, the warm spot, sitting at 59 degrees. So again, well above normal for this time of year. But some of you, because of how things work out, we're looking at daytime highs into the mid-50s, but actual for record-keeping purpose highs, what you're at right now, like Veneta at 59, that's probably going to be about as warm as you get. All right, kids out the door, some showers out there, 55, 56 by lunch and recess. Rain's picking up, winds are picking up, same as they head home out there. And like I said, temperatures really through the majority of the day just kind of hover in the mid-50s. We'll be down to 50 by 6. Rain chances, of course, will gradually increase. West winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. We're going to have more on our rain chances, how the rest of this week is looking, and of course the latest on Hurricane Melissa here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. A longtime former leader of Quapaw Nation has died. Former Quapaw Nation chairman John Berry has died following a brief illness. Berry's family, in a post on the tribe's website, confirmed the former leader's passing on Saturday. Berry served the tribe for nearly 2 decades and is credited as being instrumental in the development of 2 large-scale casino projects. Berry's legacy does carry some controversy, as allegations of financial misconduct dogged the later part of his career. Quapaw Nation and the Berry family released a statement which said in part, quote, Chairman Berry dedicated decades to the Quapaw Nation, serving as tribal chairman for 18 years. His contributions and his dedication to the advancement of the nation will be felt for generations to come, end quote. John Berry was 80 years old. Oklahoma City Metro restaurant owners have a plan in place to help families impacted by the halt to SNAP. Corey Harris owns Corey B. Cookin' Seafood and more. He plans to offer free meals, including seasoned chicken, fish, potatoes, rice, and vegetables. Harris isn't the only business owner opening his doors to those in need.
I felt that was very important to me because as a kid I grew up on SNAP, and I remember how hard it was for my mom to provide food for myself and my 4 siblings. So I just want to be able to give back and do my part.
Cindy Reed owns Del Rancho in Mustang. She received donations totaling $1,100 from customers who saw her social media post about helping families. Reed says people who need food can stop by her restaurant. She asked them to bring federal ID or SNAP cards to verify need. Times are tough for many people in our area, and the holiday season can multiply those difficulties. The good news is there are many organizations in the 4 states driven to alleviate those difficulties, such as hunger. We have a list of food pantries and other organizations on our website that provide help to the community. Don't hesitate to reach out for assistance or to volunteer your time and services or make a donation. Just head over to KOAMNewsNow.com. Search for food pantries in the 4-state areas. The government shutdown has impacted many different areas across the nation, including right here in the 4 states. KOAM's Ty Parks sat down with the nonprofit organization Economic Security Corporation to talk about the impact on the Head Start program.
So it started out small. In October, there were just 5 programs affected, about 6,500 children. Then November 1st, there are several grantees. There are 141 nationwide, including Puerto Rico. And so they will not, if they close on November 1st, that's 65,000 children affected. So every time a program's grant cycle is due and it's up, without the funding, they're forced to close.
The Head Start programs offer the service of childcare to families up to 100% of the poverty line.
So in Joplin, we're very fortunate. Our grant cycle runs April 1st to March 31st. So we have funding until March 31st of 2026. So although we feel safe, I'm encouraging all of my staff and our parents in our program to reach out and support the other programs.
The majority of families that use Head Start are working in service and delivery-based industries.
And so if those families can't work, that means our community stops operating well. And so places like fast food restaurants or car washes or Walmart, those places don't have the workers anymore. So it's really important that they have places like us, especially now with the talk of SNAP and WIC benefits not being available.
There is no immediate chance of a Head Start shutdown in Joplin, but this is something Economic Security Corporation is keeping a close eye on.
And so even though my grant's due January 1st, and they usually look into it by February, it could be very close to when my grant ends, March 31st. It could really put us at risk for closing in April if they're backlogged and haven't had a chance to look at my grant.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The Economic Security Corporation is collecting food and other resources that will be used to help the community since SNAP benefits may not be issued in November. Well, that's a look at this morning's stories and weather. Top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Hurricane Melissa becomes a monster storm headed for Jamaica, the potentially strongest hurricane in the island's recorded history. Plus, black cats face adoption challenges due to ancient superstitions, the National Black Cat Day effort to change minds. And cool conditions and light rain showers in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, Hurricane Melissa is slowly barreling towards Jamaica as a powerful Category 5 storm. It's expected to make landfall overnight. Jason Allen is in the capital, Kingston, with the latest.
Jamaicans are boarding up homes and businesses and collecting last-minute supplies and food.
Particularly, I was hoping to get some bread, but the shelves are empty.
Hurricane Melissa grew into a monster storm as it churned in the Caribbean over the weekend, headed toward Jamaica. The National Hurricane Center warns it will likely cause life-threatening flash flooding and landslides.
There is a lot of rainfall that is projected. We all have to be very, very careful and be prepared for the worst.
Melissa is expected to be the strongest storm in history to hit this island. Even these early winds, we've already seen some of the metal roofing on homes and structures start to lift and flap in the wind, and some of these areas may see as much as 3 feet of rain.
I think this one is different. I think we're definitely gonna have this one gonna impact us hard.
Hundreds of shelters are open, though most of the people we spoke with ahead of the storm said they preferred to stay at home and protect their belongings.
You know, we're not going to go anywhere. Just sitting down and watch everything, make sure everything is working good.
The storm has already been deadly, moving over Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Police there are using drones to deliver supplies to people cut off by flooding. Back in Jamaica, officials warned residents there is nowhere that will escape the wrath of this hurricane. Jason Allen, CBS News, Kingston, Jamaica.
The forecast has the hurricane moving east, crossing southeastern Cuba and the Bahamas through Wednesday, and missing Florida as it heads out into the Atlantic. Well, still to come, the FDA approves a new non-hormonal drug for menopause, hot flashes, the Alinezat breakthrough for women who can't take hormones. Plus, cool conditions and light rain showers. Chris has a look at your Tuesday forecast. Black cats have long been considered a bad omen in Western culture, and studies show those negative stereotypes sometimes make it harder for them to get adopted. Now shelters across the country are using National Black Cat Day to dispel myths and encourage adoptions. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call reports.
All right, so I'm going to introduce you to Calculator here.
When Mimi Cordero walked into this adoption shelter, she wasn't looking for a black cat.
They always tell me, well, a black cat is not a good cat. So all my life I'm like, okay, stay away from black cats.
It's a stereotype Chris Wilson, matchmaker at the ASPCA, has heard before.
Movies, the TV shows, black cats have been linked to that kind of superstition for a long time.
The stigma, animal science professor Kimberly Ainge Van Houten says, dates back to when cats were first domesticated by Egyptians.
You had this cat that was worshipped by some, but seen as a pagan god by others. And that throughout a lot of Europe gave the cat, any cat, kind of a bad reputation.
Even thousands of years later, the swirling stereotype has made it harder for them to get adopted.
The color black has been associated with death, sadness, all kinds of negative things.
But the ASPCA says National Black Cat Day, in the lead up to Halloween, is an opportunity to dispel those myths.
What are they actually like? What are their characteristics?
Super friendly, super sweet. They're like any other cat.
Hoping education and some cuddles.
She seems to really like you.
Helps cats like Calculator find forever homes.
Do you think you found your kit?
Maybe. But seeing this cat changed everything.
Chanel Call, CBS News, New York.
As a black cat owner myself, she is the best. The ASPCA says adoption numbers for black cats typically spike around National Black Cat Day and then lead up to Halloween. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're taking a look from downtown Pittsburgh. Again, we are dry so far. We do have some showers beginning to push into the area. Heavy rain possible as we head through the morning into the afternoon, and gusty winds as well. We'll take a look at that, plus the latest on Hurricane Melissa when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:18. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:20 on this Tuesday morning here in our area. Right now, again, just some light sprinkles, couple of showers out there into our western counties. Not much yet, but we're going to see these showers continue to fill in. Again, this thunderstorm activity, it's going to pass close, but should remain outside of our area. But we could still get a rumble of thunder or two today with this activity, but nothing strong, nothing severe, and really thunderstorm activity as a whole is not expected, but could get some here and there. The biggest concerns we're going to have is going to be the potential for some pretty heavy rainfall out there, in addition to gusty winds across the region as this boundary pushes through. And you can see where that wind shift line is. We'll get winds eventually shifting out of the northwest by later this evening and overnight, and they'll remain gusty today, tonight, and into tomorrow as well. Now, Wednesday, again, the rain chances are high, but only in like the first half of the day. You can see we've got widespread showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, some heavy rain out there as we reach about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. But as this low pressure and that boundary continue to push further away from us, we go into the afternoon, and those rain chances will begin to drop, and eventually we will dry out. Still breezy, still pretty chilly tomorrow, but we'll start to clear out. And our Thursday looks pretty good as well out there as we're looking just at mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures cool though, but at least we'll get a little more sunshine in there. Now, here's the latest on Hurricane Melissa. Right now, it's a Category 5 storm, 175-mile-an-hour winds. That's why I was talking about the maximum potential intensity. It's a meteorological formula that determines the strongest storm the Earth can produce or sustain at any given time. Now, it varies from season to season, from different parts of the year, but that's roughly about 184 to 186 miles an hour. So this thing is not that far off of that. That eye wall, absolutely perfect. And what's also unique about it is traditionally with hurricanes, these eye walls go through a recycling process where the eye dissipates, fills in a bit, and then a new one forms. This has been the same sustained eye wall since this storm began, and you can see it's not officially making landfall until the eye wall makes landfall, and it is probably another hour or two away from doing so. So a very dangerous storm for Jamaica. Of course, we had that report. We'll have reports. I know CBS will have reports on this as well, but a very dangerous storm, then expected to lift off to the north and east, eventually getting into the eastern portions of Cuba. So a lot to keep an eye on down there for those folks. A very devastating storm, potentially, if not deadly storm for Jamaica. As for us, though, again, we just have the rain to contend with. Temperatures don't move much. Now, some of us are a little warmer than this now, so for record-keeping purposes, that'll probably be your high for the day. But daytime highs, once we head into the afternoon, we're looking at just the mid-50s, just kind of hanging out. Winds will start to increase later this morning out of the west, gusting upwards of 25. Overnight, they'll start gusting upwards of 35, potentially to 40 out of the northwest. And the heavy rain continues. Temperatures dropping back low 40s, maybe even some upper 30s. Not worried about any winter weather with this activity. Shouldn't get cold enough for that, but it's definitely going to be a cold rain. Low to mid 50s tomorrow, upper 30s Wednesday night. Halloween, though, still looks good. Chilly, but still good. 60 for the high, upper 30s overnight, so make sure you keep that jacket handy. Next week, some differing data here. Some of it says we'll remain near normal. Some of it says what you're seeing there will start to warm up a bit, so we'll keep an eye on that for you as well. Let's check your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. The FDA has approved a new non-hormonal drug to treat hot flashes and night sweats for women in menopause. Data from clinical trials shows the drug, known as elinzanetant, significantly reduced the frequency and severity of hot flashes and improved sleep for women who cannot or choose not to take hormones. The drug maker says it's designed to target 2 receptors in the brain, which play a role in temperature regulations.
It makes sense that it would help with symptoms like hot flashes, and a lot of the sleep disturbances that women experience during menopause are related to temperature dysregulation as well. So for women who have breast cancer, for example, who cannot take hormone replacement therapy, this is an especially important option to have.
The drug does come with side effects, including headache, fatigue, and drowsiness. The FDA already approved another non-hormonal hot flash remedy this year called Veozah. That's the option that only targets 1 receptor in the brain. Last year's COVID vaccine was effective at preventing the virus, but its effectiveness waned over time. A study published in JAMA looked at the 2024-2025 version of the vaccine. It found that about 4 weeks after taking the shot, the vaccine was 44% effective. But about 5 months after getting the vaccine, its effectiveness dropped to 16%. If you're the kind of person who counts your daily steps, listen up. A study in the UK found that it's best to take 1 long walk daily rather than taking multiple short walks throughout the day. People who walked 15 minutes or longer daily had a lower risk of death and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease than people who took shorter walks, even if the overall number of steps they took were the same. Well, trying a Mediterranean diet could help people with irritable bowel syndrome. A University of Sheffield study found the diet, which emphasizes plant-based foods and lean proteins while avoiding red meat, performed better than a traditional diet at relieving the symptoms of IBS. Patients also reported less abdominal pain. The study suggests a Mediterranean diet could be used as a treatment for IBS. Doctors are finding creative ways to help Parkinson's patients regain what the disease has taken away. In Britain, a musician has found her rhythm again, and it happened right in the middle of a brain surgery. CBS's Tina Cross has the story.
Making music was at the center of Denise Bacon's life, but Parkinson's disease changed everything. The 65-year-old had to stop playing the clarinet she loved.
It was mainly because the fingers weren't pressing, I couldn't press them accurately. on the holes and the keys.
Bacon thought that part of her life was over until she underwent deep brain stimulation at a London hospital. Doctors inserted 2 tiny wires into the parts of her brain that control movement. She stayed awake with her scalp and skull numb to test the results in real time, picking up her clarinet for the first time in 5 years.
So we could test her finger movements and the speed of the movements and make sure that they are no longer stiff, they can do what she wants them to do.
Bacon says she was delighted as she saw immediate improvement during the 4-hour surgery.
It's just amazing to see and feel my fingers moving better and faster and sort of flowing more.
Deep brain stimulation is not a cure for Parkinson's, and it doesn't stop symptoms from getting worse, but it gives patients more control over their movements, helping doctors fine-tune treatment that in some cases can hit all the right notes. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, restaurants team up for a harvest dinner to benefit the Wesley House.
And we are waiting for these showers to begin increasing. We'll have rain across the area, heavy rain possible at times. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the St. Louis Gateway Arch celebrates its 60th birthday Tuesday, the 630-foot monument's historic milestone.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, October the 28th, and it is going to be a wet Tuesday out there. The rain's starting to slowly creep in, but believe it or not, it will increase in coverage, and we could get some heavy rain out there from today, tonight, into at least the first half of our Wednesday. But those of you planning ahead, I almost said Thanksgiving again. What is going on in my head?
It's because it's just going so quickly.
I have no idea.
Moving.
Well, Halloween still looks good. I don't know about Thanksgiving yet. We're a little too far out for that. But at least Halloween still looking pretty good, just a bit on the chilly side. Let's start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. Again, we are dry. In fact, the majority of us for the time being are dry, but it will not last. Our camera 7th and range line. You can see some of those clouds out there. We had cloudy skies, very dreary day yesterday and again today, but this time at least there's going to be rain falling from the sky. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looks good. Again, some of this not necessarily reaching the ground just yet, but you can see some light sprinkles, maybe some drizzle building into our western counties. Ultimately, this activity will continue to fill in and increase in coverage out here in Kansas and then begin to push into our area. And again, we've got these thunderstorms down south. If we had clear skies overhead, you'd probably be able to see the lightning from these storms, but we don't have clear skies, and they should remain to our south. Now, could we get a rumble of thunder or two with this activity today? We could. It's not likely, but it's a possibility. So the big thing to remember is when thunder roars, head indoors. Outside of that, it's going to be breezy, it's going to be chilly, and it's going to be wet with some heavy rain potential out there as well. Temperatures this morning very mild, well above average. Most of us mid-upper 50s. Veneta, again, the warm spot at 59. Now, for record-keeping purposes, some locations, like Veneta, for example, this may end up being your high temperature today because this is going to be about as warm as you get. Once we get into the rain, temperatures will level out at about the mid-50s. So from a daytime highs perspective, we're looking at the mid-50s. That's where, again, we just kind of hover out there. We're going to go 55, kids heading out the door, some light showers, again, increasing in coverage, and some heavy rain possible. 56 by lunch and recess, 56 as they head home. Those winds eventually shifting out of the west. And then later this evening out of the northwest, gusting to 25. And as you can see throughout the day, mid-50s. That's really about where we stay, down to 50 by 6 o'clock. Remember to look at your forecast, talk about the rain and the wind and everything else we're expecting here, and the latest on Hurricane Melissa here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Members of the Southeast Kansas community came out to show their support for helping those in need at this year's Farm to Fork Festival at the Greenway in downtown Pittsburgh. The festival celebrates the local harvest, as well as promotes sustainable practices and raises community awareness about where your food comes from before it hits your dinner table. All proceeds and donations go to the Wesley House, which provides food pantry services for those in need.
I'd say the inspiration behind that would actually be my mom. It was her idea to host a farm-to-table harvest event. I just found an opportunity in a city committee where I could make a difference. So the inspiration behind hosting it is to make sure that we're being sustainable.
All proceeds and donations go to the Wesley House, which provides food pantry services for those in need. The famous St. Louis Gateway Arch is celebrating its 60th birthday Tuesday. The 630-foot high arch was completed October 28, 1965. It commemorates President Thomas Jefferson's Louisiana Purchase of 1803. It also celebrates St. Louis's central role in the westward expansion that followed. Well, the parents of nearly 24 Missouri high school football players are asking for an investigation into the use of pepper spray against the student athletes. It happened at the end of a recent game in Ohio. Caroline Hecker reports.
A post-game tradition of shaking hands set the scene for chaos for players from Cardinal Ritter and Massillon Washington High School. This video shows pushing and shoving between a Massillon player surrounded by several players from Cardinal Ritter. Police say the Massillon player was grabbed by the face mask before being corralled by coaches and led to the other side of the field. Moments later, as players on both teams are seen hugging and shaking hands, Massillon officers are seen running toward both teams before two officers deploy pepper spray in the direction of Cardinal Ritter players. Today, parents of those players, joined by attorneys from Ohio and Ben Crump, called on Massillon police to investigate the use of force, which they claim was racially motivated.
This is police violence against our children and our community, and that's unacceptable. I mean, this is a parent's worst nightmare.
Some parents watching the situation unfold from home in St. Louis.
Seeing my son there unable to protect himself and me not being able to protect him.
Others in the stands trying to make sense of what happened.
And just to hear him crying, "Mom, I can't see, I can't see." And I told him, "Flush your eyes out." And he said that one of the coaches gave him milk and poured on his face.
We asked parents and the attorneys what may have started or led to the fight. They contend no fight took place.
There was no fight, so let's be clear on the facts. It's my understanding that there were some words exchanged between both sides. However, it's also my understanding that there was improper treatment toward these Cardinal Ritter students during the game.
In the video, one player is seen kneeling and grabbing his face. Parents of several players say they're still dealing with the physical and emotional impacts.
We have appointments set up to where either surgery is needed or he's going to now have to wear glasses. He's 18. He's never had any eye trouble until now.
The police department says officers gave verbal commands for players to leave the field. The department says they found no wrongdoing by their officers. Well, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, Chris Francis inherits a massive collection from Hollywood's shoemaker to the stars. Plus, nearly 7,000 flights delayed Monday as the government shutdown enters day 28. The staffing shortages hitting airports nationwide. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, a California shoemaker is keeping the art of handmade footwear alive while preserving the legacy of a legendary designer. Chris Francis inherited this massive collection of wooden foot forms made by the late Pascal di Fabrizio, known as the shoemaker to the stars. The Italian cobbler created custom footwear for Hollywood celebrities from the 1960s until his death in 2008. The collection inspired Francis to keep his own glam rock collection going, despite some challenges.
One time the celebrities would brag about how much they paid for a pair of shoes, and they would want something that nobody else had. Nowadays, I'm finding more and more celebrities wanting shoes for free, which is just killing shoemakers like me.
Francis began designing shoes in his kitchen back in 2011. Each pair is meticulously handcrafted and can take anywhere from a few days to several months to make. Well, airport disruptions continue Monday around the U.S. with nearly 7,000 flights delayed, according to the website FlightAware. It's mostly due to staffing shortages as essential employees like air traffic controllers miss work during the now 28-day federal government shutdown. Today, many essential airport workers are expected to miss their first full paychecks, with still no end in sight for the shutdown stalemate. Twin Sisters Creamery is voluntarily recalling batches of Whatcom Blue, farmhouse peppercorn, and mustard seed aged raw milk cheese products because they could contain E. coli, according to the Washington State Department of Health. At least 3 people there in Oregon, including 1 child, have been sickened. Consumers who have the recalled products are urged to throw them away or return them to the place of purchase for a full refund. Well, there's no place like home for the holidays. The trick is getting there. As CBS's Michael George reports, fewer Americans are expected to fly this holiday season. But for those who do, there's a right time to buy that plane ticket.
If you're heading home for the holidays, you have to beat the hustle and bustle first.
I prefer to stay home and not deal with all the chaos.
This year, price pressures have some people checking their list twice. A survey from Bankrate found about 1 in 5 adults say they plan to travel by airplane or stay in a hotel or short-term rental for the upcoming holidays. That's down from 27% last year. And men, Gen Z, and parents with small children were most likely to forego flying.
It's also possible that people might be traveling differently. Like maybe they are cutting back, but they're still doing something. Maybe they're driving instead of flying or picking cheaper accommodations.
Holidays are an expensive time anyway, and it's harder when you have to add on a bigger expense for the travel.
If you are planning to pack your bags and fly, take advantage of strategic timing.
Buying early isn't necessarily the best way to save money. The airlines know this, and they price accordingly.
Akhtar Zaman is CEO of the travel search engine Skiplagged. He says the best time to book Thanksgiving travel is 3 weeks ahead of time. For Christmas, that sweet spot is 2 weeks in advance.
As time gets closer, their projections might be off, and that usually leads to price dropping.
Flexibility may also keep costs in check.
You can zig when others zag. Traveling on the holiday itself is actually a real bargain.
That could help make merry while saving money. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got some rain showers, a few sprinkles pushing into our western counties, more widespread rain expected later this morning and throughout the rest of our Tuesday. Additionally, it'll be breezy, temperatures cool, even cooler tomorrow. We're going to talk about those winds, the rain, what our Halloween forecast looks like, and have the latest on Hurricane Melissa when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:44. We'll be right back.
Many Americans may soon have to figure out how to keep food on the table as the government grocery assistance is due to run out. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. USDA has posted a notice on its website saying federal food aid will not go out on Saturday, November 1st. It's due to the ongoing government shutdown. Now, the cutoff would expand the impact to some of the Americans who rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The notice comes after the Trump administration said it will not tap roughly $5 billion in contingency funds to keep the benefits flowing into November. Coca-Cola has apparently started selling a version of Coke in the U.S. that uses cane sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup. It comes after President Trump said earlier this year the company had agreed to use cane sugar in its drink. Now, CNN says the cane sugar version is being launched in select cities and retailers in the U.S. Some international versions of the classic soda already use cane sugar, including Coca-Cola sold in Mexico. Pumpkins are taking center stage at many homes across the country, and here are some pumpkin facts. They are grown across the country on more than 68,000 acres. Now, a handful of states dominate: Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, California, and Michigan together account for about 66% of all pumpkin output. Illinois' edge lies in processing pumpkins, with 90% of its crop going to pie filling and canned products. For more news, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker once again, where some of this rain not necessarily reaching the ground just yet, maybe so in parts of Elk County, but a lot of this is just drizzle. Again, some of it not reaching the ground, but eventually All of this out to our west will continue to fill in, stretching from Wichita, as you can see, back toward Dodge City, and from the northern parts of Kansas down into parts of north central Oklahoma. It'll all again begin to fill in the gaps, and we'll have widespread showers out there. And then eventually it will work its way into our area in the next hour or two. Thunderstorms to our south expected to remain to our south. Now, could we get a stray shower or storm here or there? Of course we could, but the general expectation is not a stray shower. We're going to get rain. That's a guarantee. Thunderstorm activity. That's what I was talking about. We could get a rumble of thunder or two, but really it's just looking at being heavy rain, chilly temperatures, and some gusty winds as we go through the day. Heading into the afternoon, got some of these yellows and oranges. And again, so a rumble of thunder possible, but more so just heavy rain out there. And this will stick around through the evening and into the overnight hours as well with that heavy rain. So we eventually get on the backside of this system, wind shifting out of the northwest later this evening. And then the rain, again, our Wednesday rain chances are high, but only in like the first half of the day. As we go into the afternoon, the system begins to pull away and it will take that rain with it, and then we should be done. We'll start to clear out. Still a little bit chilly, still breezy. Our Thursday, still a bit on the cool side, with a mix of mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, but otherwise dry, looking pretty good. And of course, the latest on Hurricane Melissa, winds now still at 175 miles an hour. A very well-defined eye out there. It's had the same eye wall since it began, which is a very rare situation. You can see it's getting closer to Jamaica, not quite making landfall officially yet, but getting very close to that. So this is a devastating, if not deadly, situation for them down there. So something that, of course, we'll keep an eye on. After it crosses Jamaica, looking to reach the eastern portions of Cuba a little later today or very early tomorrow morning. It's just a live look from around parts of Jamaica out there where you can see they've got these different cameras. I believe all of these, I think, at this point are in Kingston, but still dealing with the flooding, the rains, the heavy winds. Beginning to roll into the area. So a lot they've got to keep an eye on out there. All right, as for us, showers, rain increasing, eventually getting a little heavier. Temperatures not moving much. Many of us, for, again, record-keeping purposes, hitting our highs right now. But as for daytime highs, as warm as we're expecting, it's just the mid-50s out there. West winds gusting to 25. Again, later this evening, they'll shift out of the northwest, gusting upwards of 35, possibly to 40 overnight tonight. Back down to the mid-40s by 10. We'll have that heavy rain out there and eventually dropping back into the low 40s overnight. Could we get some upper 30s? We certainly could. By tomorrow night, though, a lot more upper 30s out there. We aren't expecting any wintry weather. Not looking to get cold enough for any kind of freezing precipitation, so that's some good news. Tomorrow, still breezy, and those north winds by tomorrow afternoon gusting upwards of 35 to 40 miles an hour, low 50s, upper 50s Thursday, Halloween. Chilly, but good. We'll be about 60 for the high. Clear skies down into the upper 30s. So if your costume's warm, great. If not, I know you don't want to cover up that costume, but you also don't want yourself or your kids to get sick trick-or-treating. So do make sure you keep a jacket handy. We're looking pretty good into the weekend. Next week, some differing data. Some of it, like you see there, suggests we may warm up. Some of it suggests we'll just hang out in the mid-60s. So we'll keep an eye on that for you next week as well. Let's check your forecast. Toss it over to Samantha now with sports.
Thanks, Chris. Today in sports, Riverton Volleyball is heading back to the state tournament for the fourth time in 5 years after another dominant season. But the job's not finished just yet for the Rams. Riverton is 5-0 in postseason play so far, and they haven't dropped a single set in those matches. The Rams will look to continue that dominance in the state tournament. Their 36-4 record is good for the second seed in the Class 3A pool. Riverton Volleyball is used to this kind of success, but second-year head coach Kellen Lipashek says it's a special moment for her and her team. That's it for sports. We'll be right back. Elementary students in Pittsburgh are hoping to raise awareness about the dangers of drugs, alcohol, and other drug use. This is the Red Ribbon Week, where students educate themselves and others on the dangers. Students are wearing red ribbons or clothes to show their commitment to staying drug-free.
The main goal this week is to teach students to make good choices and stay drug-free. Our counselors work together through all 4 elementary buildings to develop a theme for the week and fun dress-up days so that kids have a chance to have those conversations.
Every day this week will have a theme to encourage a drug-free lifestyle. Today's theme is Hats Off to Being Drug-Free, where students will wear their best headwear. Well, popular yoga gear company Lululemon teams up with the NFL for an apparel collection covering all 32 teams. The collaboration marks Lululemon's first officially licensed NFL products. The collection features men's and women's apparel with team logos. The move into sports merchandising aims to boost sales after several quarters of declining revenue.
And we've got those rain chances across the area today, gradually increasing through the morning, and we could get some heavy rain mixed in there as well. Now, some locations, again, you're hitting your not record breaking, for record keeping purposes, you're hitting your highs now. And then daytime highs only in the mid 50s, because temperatures, once the rain settles in, just kind of level out around the mid 50s, and that's where we'll spend most of our daylight hours. Even though we won't see much sunshine, we will stay in the mid 50s. Heavy rain possible, perhaps a rumble of thunder or two. West winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Now later this evening, they'll begin to switch out of the northwest and then start gusting 35, possibly to 40 miles an hour in some cases. Temperatures dropping back down in the low 40s. Could we get some upper 30s tonight? We certainly could. Are we expecting any of this rain stuff to turn into any kind of that wintry stuff? No, we are not. Not going to be quite cold enough for that just yet, but of course winter weather is probably not that far away. All right, tomorrow, low 50s, so a bit chillier, still breezy. Our rain chances are good, but only in the first half of the day, so keep that in mind. We've got a good chance of rain before noon, and then after we get into the afternoon, those rain chances begin to dwindle, and our skies should clear out a bit. We're back into the upper 30s tomorrow night, upper 50s Thursday. Halloween, again, looks good. Clear skies, about 60. Overnight lows into the upper 30s, so if you're trick-or-treating, make sure you bundle up out there. You don't want to catch a cold or get sick otherwise heading into this weekend. Next week, again, some differing data. Some of it says what you see there suggests we start to warm up. Other data suggests we'll be in the mid-60s, so hopefully we find a happy medium there. Let's check your forecast. We've got another hour of the morning news after this.